And for more on this, we're now being joined by Mithali Nikor, economist and founder of Nikor Associates, live from Delhi. Thank you so much for joining us on World Business Watch. You know it's always a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much, Hem. How are you?
I am lovely. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's get right into this. Are Trump's calculations for discounted tariff rates appropriate in your view?
So actually, I want to quote a very famous economist today, Ha-Jong Chang. He is actually the director of economics at SOAS in the University of London. And he has said in the Financial Times yesterday in his assessment that the estimations were basically bizarre. And I'm literally using the term that he's used as well. And I think economists around the world, including myself, we've been going over these estimations of how did he arrive at this 94% tariff that Cambodia is applying, or the over 90% tariffs, for example. And a lot of it is actually nothing to do with direct tariffs, but what we call as non-tariff barriers, like any sort of barriers that increase the cost of trade. And that's a very subjective calculation, because I could say, what, it costs me 4 days to get a clearance of this document, and the value of those 4 days is $100 a day, or the value of those 4 days is $1,000 a day. And that's absolutely up to me as to what is the notional value I assign. So in short, the way the calculations are done is frankly bizarre.
Right, absolutely. In fact, we were discussing this with Mr. Mark Matthews yesterday as well, and he said that some of the economists and experts have pretty much nailed the formula that was used here, which is, from what we know at this point, that the country's trade deficit divided by its exports to the United States times half. Now, that is what we know. He also did say something that this is going to have a limited impact. That is given if there aren't any retaliatory tariffs from other countries. Of course, I also want to ask you what your view on that is. Do you think that's going to be possible? Market meltdown warns of recession. So what's your take on this?
So let's say him that there are two scenarios, right? Let's say that there are no retaliatory tariffs. If there are no retaliatory tariffs, despite that, in that situation, it's most likely that exporters will pass on the entire burden of the tariffs to US consumers. So if the US is levying a 46% tariff on any commodity, especially on the non-US content of that commodity, that entire cost increase that an importer has to bear will simply get passed on to the US consumer, maybe with even like a markup. In that scenario, there is definitely no doubt that the US consumer will start seeing an increase in inflation, a generalized increase in inflation, because a number of commodities will start to see increasing prices very quickly. And that could actually lead to a cost of living crisis in the US. And then it would lead to what we call in economics as a stagflation, where you have a stagnating growth combined with inflation. So that's the first scenario. Now, if there are retaliatory tariffs as well on top of that, then it in fact worsens this stagflation even further, because then, even US exports, which could have brought in crucial foreign exchange for the US economy, will face a declining demand. So in both cases, it becomes very difficult for the US economy to then navigate the rest of the world.
Right, and just to expand on that, of course, we've seen major emerging economies, especially in Asia, taking a big hit as well. So what impact do you see for countries like Vietnam and Bangladesh?
So, I mean, if we recall, just about 10 years ago, there was this entire movement towards greater competition, creating competitive advantage bubbles. Bangladesh was a darling of the US, where, Bangladesh was encouraged in so many ways to build up its textile industry. And, textile companies went and flocked to Bangladesh. And those were not just, organic movements. Those were policy responses, because the Bangladesh government was advised by US and American policymakers to open up its textile sector. So, there was a clear coordinated effort between the US and, say, a country like Bangladesh to boost its economy. Similarly, when we talk about Vietnam and other East Asian tigers, I mean, in 1997, when I was in school, we used to hear about the East Asian miracle. And the East Asian miracle was also engineered in many ways by the Western economies, by the World Trade Organization, who, agreed agreed that we should bring in this entire group of countries into manufacturing value chains because it would be cheaper to manufacture there and the conditions were absolutely perfect for manufacturing. So at the end of the day, these are countries which have been created with American interest as manufacturing hubs across the world. Today, when you impose these artificially high tariffs on these countries without any safety net for these countries to transition away from manufacturing, then it creates a very difficult situation for them. And as the richest country in the world, imposing these burdens on the poorest countries in the world, I mean, not only the Asian tigers, but also countries like Myanmar, Nauru, and like remote islands in Australia.
Right.
I simply don't understand how he's going to create revenue out of this.
Right. Absolutely. Well, Mithali, thank you so much for joining us on World Business Watch. It's always a pleasure speaking to you. Thank you so much for your insights on this. For latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.